What do you think it is? Any ideas?
Racism towards a species of animal.
Yes, yes, that's exactly what you're the first person that's ever got that, right?
Really?
Yeah. So it's basically the same thing. It's treating animals differently dependent on their species. So most people are animal lovers, right? And if I asked you if you're an animal lover, you'd probably say yeah, and that's fine. But you're taught to treat them differently on species. So dogs and cats and horses.
Yeah, pets.
Companion animals, I would say. Dolphins are cool, lions are cool. If somebody shoots Harambe, you get upset. Fox hunting's bad, bullfighting's bad. But the animals that we eat and wear, they don't really matter at all.
Yeah.
What happens to them, you don't even think about it. Because you're taught that you have to consume them. It's necessary when it's absolutely not. And if you take away the necessity, then what you're really paying for is industrialised cruelty to animals, because it is cruelty. I don't know if you're aware, I've ever seen some of the things that happens to animals, just a standard practice, not people being deliberately cruel. So that's why I'm out here trying to get people to think when you buy the products, when you buy dairy products, or you buy meat, or you buy eggs, you're paying for horrendous cruelty stuff. You're paying somebody to do things to animals that you would never do yourself.
That's great. It's good that you're standing here.
Yeah, we're just trying to raise awareness. I think most people don't know. Like, you have some vague idea about what happens to animals in slaughterhouses, but you take the dairy industry, for example, people have no idea how horrendously cruel it is and what goes on. Like, even in the very simplest terms, you see the dairy cows you see standing in the fields, they're all females, every single one of them. All the baby boy calves are disposed of at a very early age. They're either killed for veal at 18 weeks old, so they stand in a veal pen with a chain around their neck for 18 weeks, and then there's a knife pulled across their throat. Or some farmers don't want to raise them at all because they're worthless. I think it's 98,000 baby boy calves were killed on the day they were born last year in the UK alone. So they will either put them in the ground and shoot them in the head. Some farmers don't even want to pay for a bullet, so they'll just hit them over the head with a spade or a shovel. Standard practice. So I mean, for me, that's enough alone that I'm not going to pay somebody to do that. So when I go to, and I know you're probably drinking it now, and I wouldn't judge anybody. I'm being serious. Like, I paid for it for a long time in my life until I knew better. But I can go in there now and buy the same things with oat milk or coconut milk or soy milk. Good man. And I'm not paying somebody to hit a wee baby calf over the head that's just been born. Well, that's a no-brainer for me. Does that make sense?
Change my perspective. I will definitely get an alternative.
Yeah, that's all it's about. And alternatives are good. What have you got there?
It's flat white.
Yeah, and it maybe doesn't taste exactly the same, but it's still really good. Slightly different, but that doesn't make it worse. It doesn't mean you're going to go, shit, I can't drink that.
Yeah.
See, after a week of drinking oat milk, that just becomes a normal coffee to you, you know? You vegan, or you just...
No, I try to do as clean eating and stuff as possible. Like regular milk makes you feel a bit.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm training, some guy usually protein shakes, some guy soy.
Yeah. I get it. I'm ethically vegan, so I love animals. I don't want people to hurt animals, and it's not just that. Animal agriculture is absolutely trashing the planet as well. Like, it's really, really wasteful. And it's polluting the rivers, and the fish industry is terrible as well. Right across the board, animals are being treated in ways that... I always say to people, if you say you eat lamb, for example, well, lambs are killed at 16 weeks old, so they're only babies. And you maybe walk in the supermarket, and it's very easy to pick up a packet of something with two wee pink cuts in it, and you take it home and cook it, and you don't even think about it. But say I brought a baby lamb to you at 16 weeks old, and reached it to you and said, here's a knife. Could you do it? How many people around here that eat lamb do you think could do that themselves? Well, if they did do it, you'd probably think they were a psychopath. Yeah. So you're paying somebody to, when you're eating lamb, you're paying somebody to stick a knife in a baby lamb's throat. And I'm not, that's a harsh reality, but that's the truth of it. When you're drinking dairy products, you're paying people to kill baby boy calves, and the females are exploited for their entire life. They're constantly made pregnant, have their children taken away, made pregnant, have their children taken away. It's really distressing for them. They're killed about 5 years old. They should live to 30, 35, but they're so spent at 5 years old because they're constantly being milked and being made pregnant. Their bodies just give up. Egg industry, the same. All the boy chicks are disposed of on the day they're born. They're go along conveyor belt and they're sorted into males and females, and the boy the boy chicks, you can look it up online, and go along conveyor belt and drop into a macerating machine. They're just minced up alive. Those wee yellow chicks that everybody loves. That's all horrendously cruel. But because you think you have to consume it, you just like, I'm not even going to think about it.
It's a good message.
You know? I think it's a worthwhile. You know, animals can't speak for themselves. So, and like, I'm like you, and probably yourself. I love animals, and I don't want people to hurt them. Because you're indoctrinated when you're young. You're taught that these things happen, and you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And that's how disconnected you become. That somebody's doing a horrible thing to an animal, and you're paying for it. Well, maybe not at 10 years old. Your parents are paying for it, but you will continue to pay for that to happen for your entire life.
Yeah.
So it's just a new perspective, and if you can eat something else and be healthy, what's the reason then for not doing it? What's the reason then? If you don't have necessity, what's the reason? It's usually taste. I like the taste of meat. Well, you're saying, I'm not saying you're saying, but somebody saying that to me is telling me that they value a 5-minute snack over somebody's life. When you think about it like that, it kind of changes your perspective. I'm going to give you a card.
I'm glad to stop and talk to you.
Thanks very much for stopping, man. I appreciate it. What's your names, by the way? What?
This isn't real leather, by the way.
I could tell that, but believe it or not.
Buy real leather.
No, man, I wouldn't judge you anyway, because like I say, I paid for stuff, and you know, it's a learning process. They wanted to encourage you to watch that on YouTube, free to watch. Best speech you'll ever hear. Literally the best speech you'll ever hear. It's not me. Yeah. It's a Boulder guy in America going around the tour of classrooms or universities in America. Somebody sent it to me and I thought, that's a bit crap, but it's not. It's genuinely really good. It's about 40 minutes long. Yeah. Change your life. Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, lads. We'll do that. Oh shit!
Dylan.
Jeez.
Dylan.
That was kind of my fault, lads. I'm so sorry.
You put me off dairy so much.
Maybe if you go into Starbucks, they give you some napkins and stuff. Jesus, man, I feel really bad about that.
Oh no, you're okay. That's all.
That was
It's only real milk, Dylan. You know?
that was a sign from above that you're meant to get an oat milk one the next time you go in.